Dealing with retroactive jealousy is definitely not easy. And by the way, when I use the term retroactive jealousy, of course, I'm referring to unwanted, intrusive thoughts and often obsessive curiosity about your partner's past relationships and/or dating history. Dealing with retroactive jealousy isn't easy. And sometimes it can feel like it's even harder if your partner has a past but you don't. In today's video, I'm going to respond to a viewer of this channel who's worried because his girlfriend has a past and he doesn't. He's struggling with retroactive jealousy and he wants to know what to do. My name is Zachary Stockill, and since 2013, I've been working one-on-one with hundreds of men and women from all over the world, helping them overcome retroactive jealousy, helping them overcome obsessive jealousy, and most of the time saving their relationships. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one or you'd like more information about my work, please visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. Before I get into kind of the meat of today's video, I just want to address something that has been popping up a lot lately. I've been getting a lot of questions on my YouTube videos with people looking for where to go to work with me, where to go to learn more about my online courses, where to learn more about my products and services. And of course, you can find all of the links to all of my material in the description of this video. You can visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. In the navigation bar at the top of the website, you'll find all the links to my coaching, my products and services, my online courses, my guided meditation series, everything. Needless to say, I put out a lot of content on this issue, and you can find all the details about that at the links in the description. Okay, getting to the meat of today's video, I'm going to read an email, or I think a YouTube comment actually I received from a viewer on this channel who's worried about the fact that his girlfriend has a past and he doesn't. Let's call him R. So R writes, I've been struggling with retroactive jealousy for a few months now. I've been in my relationship for 6 months. My main issue is that I feel like I've missed out, and I'm going to miss out because I have no past and my girlfriend has had a fair bit of experience. I've recently been feeling regret of not doing anything in the past, and I'm worried that I might be this way forever. I just have this FOMO of not doing anything with anyone else, but I think it's only because she's experienced everything, whereas I haven't experienced anything. I feel like even if I had a small past, it would be so much easier for me to get over retroactive jealousy. I just don't want to end up regretting something in the future, wasting our time, or resenting her in the future. Okay, R. Thank you for your email/comment. I forget which one it was. Thank you for reaching out to me. And what jumps out to me right off the bat is the fact that you're pretty self-aware. At least you seem that way, judging by the email you wrote to me. Because I like the way you ended this. You said you don't want to end up regretting something in the future, you don't want to waste your time, or her time, crucially, and you don't want to end up resenting her as well. This issue of resentment is so important. There's a lot of research out on the longevity of marriages and long-term relationships and what predicts the downfall of a marriage or a long-term relationship. In particular, Dr. John Gottman has done a lot of research on this topic, and he's found more than anything else that resentment predicts the downfall of a relationship better than just about anything else. In other words, as soon as you start having feelings of resentment towards your partner, that's a real warning sign. You have to be careful, because the further down that road you go, the more likely it is that your relationship is going to fall apart. So good on you, R, for having that self-knowledge, having that self-awareness to kind of understand what the stakes are here and what the dangers are moving forward. Secondly, I want to be really clear in this video because I think sometimes people misinterpret me and my work and they ascribe messages to me that I'm not putting out there. So I want to be clear that if you feel like you need more experience as a young man, if you need more dating experience, if you need to have a few more girlfriends before you quote unquote settle down or anything like that, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I think some people need a broader range of experience compared to others before they're ready to quote unquote settle down. I certainly fall into that category. I'm glad I've had a broad range of relationship and dating experiences for the past 20 years or whatever. That served me really well. It gave me the perspective that I've needed, taught me all kinds of really valuable lessons, which I still draw on today. Talking to you today as a man in his mid-30s, I don't think I'd be as contented in that relationship today if I hadn't had a broad range of experiences in the past. So if you check in with yourself, if you start doing your own work of self-interrogation, maybe you can work with a coach or a therapist or a friend. If you really get in touch with these feelings and you think, you know what, I need more experience before I can settle down with someone, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. However, I need to be equally clear about something else, which is when it comes to this particular little demon of an issue that we call retroactive jealousy, the numbers don't matter as much as you think. Because I often get emails from men in particular in situations that are very similar to you, where they'll write to me and they'll say, listen, my girlfriend's had 5 partners and I've had 2. What do you think about that? Is this where my retroactive jealousy is coming from? And as I often tell these men, I've received emails from men whose, their own past is way, way, way more colorful than their girlfriend's or their wife's past, yet they're still struggling with the exact same symptoms that you're struggling with. In other words, the experience of retroactive jealousy is pretty similar across the different categories of people. Regardless of how many people you've been with, regardless of how many people your partner's been with, the symptoms are generally pretty similar. And again, I can speak personally to this issue. I mean, back a million years ago when I was struggling with retroactive jealousy myself in my personal life, my past was much more colorful, shall we say, than my girlfriend at the time's past. I'd also like to remind you, and this isn't specific to you, but this is specific to this kind of email that I get from a lot of guys in similar situations to yours. I want to remind you that you are not a victim. You're not a victim of your partner's past. You're not a victim of their past choices. You're not a victim of your own past. You have options right now in the present. And if you accept and sort of take on a victim mentality, this issue is going to be much, much, much harder to get over. The men who struggle with retroactive jealousy for years or sometimes even decades on end are often the men who take on a kind of victim mentality where they feel like a victim of their partner's past or a victim of circumstance or a victim of their own past or whatever. It's a really disempowering attitude to take on. And if you take on that victim mentality, you're going to be spinning your wheels in the mud for many more months, years, or even decades to come. On the note of not being a victim, in terms of practical steps you can take, number one, I'd recommend, frankly, you sign up for my free mini course. You can go to retroactivejealousy.com. You can enter your email address in. You can unsubscribe anytime. That's fine. It's a totally free 4-part mini video course that will help you get started taking the baby steps towards getting more clarity around these questions and eventually overcoming retroactive jealousy. So if you want to sign up for that, you can go to retroactivejealousy.com and you'll receive several emails over the course of 1 week that'll give you all the steps to get started. Aside from that, students in my premium online courses know that I'm a huge fan of journaling. I think journaling can be an exceptional tool for getting clarity about your true feelings, clarity about what's truly important to you, clarity about the next steps to take to move forward. So I would definitely devote some time to journaling. Get to a quiet place where you can be alone and just start freeform writing out your feelings, all of your impulses and all the things you're struggling with and all the questions you have and all the rest. Try to get as much of the noise in your head out of your system and onto the page, because often having that clarity and perspective can be very helpful about exactly what you're feeling, what you're struggling with, and what you want. And aside from all that, make sure you're talking to someone about your options. Again, this can be a coach, this can be someone like me, or it can be a therapist or a friend or a trusted family member. Talking through these kinds of questions is really, really important. Make sure it's someone you trust, make sure it's someone you respect, and then devote some time to sharing all of your feelings, sharing all of your questions, and getting a bit of outside perspective on this issue. And in particular, you write like a younger man, so I'd recommend talking to someone older, someone who's had a little more life experience, a little more experience dealing with perhaps some of the questions that you're dealing with right now. And the last point I want to make is in terms of all of your options moving forward. Okay, the way I see it, you really have two options here. Option one, you can take the steps to break up with your current girlfriend and go out and find a little bit more experience. Option two, you can commit to beating retroactive jealousy in your current relationship. I don't think either one of those options, it's not like one is more important or necessarily right than the other. Obviously, I can't make that call for you, that's on you. But don't give yourself an option three. So what a lot of guys would do in this situation is they like the girl, they like the sex, they like the attention, they like the affection. They want to go out and explore, but they also kind of want to string their girlfriend along. So they'll kind of half break up with their girlfriend, break her heart, but kind of keep stringing her along, keep messaging her, keep having sex with her every now and again, keep giving her hope for an extended period of time. They're kind of trying to have their cake and eat it too. This almost always leads to really messy, really complicated, really painful, drawn out outcomes. I wouldn't recommend going with option three because it isn't an option. The way I see it, you really have two options here, and it's on you to really evaluate those options, to get clear on what's most important to you. Remembering you can have most of what you want, but you probably can't have 100% of what you want. Getting clear on your values, what's truly important to you, and moving forward based on that. And whatever you decide, I'm sure ultimately it's going to be okay as long as you take the time to really do the necessary work, the necessary self-interrogation to get to the bottom of your values, because the more clear you can get on what's truly important to you, the better a decision you can make. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching this video today. If you got anything out of this video, please take a minute to let me know by clicking the like button below. If you have any feedback for me or any questions or something you'd like me to cover in a future video, please also let me know by writing a comment beneath this video. And while you're at it, be sure you are subscribed and hit the silly notification bell to be notified of new videos moving forward. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.